Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Aries, January 1, 2023. With today's moon, you're a little more retiring than usual and perhaps need more rest or detox from the regular routine. Still, a good part of you can find the mundane or ordinary especially boring today, and you could feel that you're battling your own diverging interests and desires. An outlet for your frustration doesn't seem apparent, and it may be worth your time to consciously try to let go of what's irritating you. Watch for impatience that gets in the way of healthy relating and trips you up, whether emotionally or physically. Consider that your need for some stillness or comfort is valid and should get some attention. Doing so can free you up for more stimulating activities later. You so often think that nothing can stop you. In fact, you put your head down, dig in your hooves, and plod forward with your horns before you along the path. However, today will make you feel like you've hit a brick wall that isn't movable. Mental Mercury, our cosmic messenger and the planet of the mind and communication, is now at a complete halt within the sky. This particular winter retrograde phase is taking place entirely on the snowy cliffs and mountaintops of the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Collectively, over the coming weeks, we will all notice that we are taking a deep look at our legacies and how we build structure in our lives. Understanding how relationships play a factor in our development may also manifest. Get ready for it to come. Release your anger. As the sensitive moon in Aries conjuncts Chiron in Aries, you may notice a subliminal frustration simmering throughout your workday. But confronting and dealing with your anger is challenging to say the least, especially if you are dealing with frustrating individuals at work. Instead of giving in to your anger, you should work on productively appraising your feelings. Luckily, it appears that your annoyance will not win today since the moon will form a sextile to Saturn in Aquarius, suggesting that your professionalism will curtail your frustration. Mars might have the brakes on as he moves into his final 2 weeks in retrograde motion in your income sector, but the timing couldn't be better. It is Venus, the planet of money's return to your career sector early next week that will see her return in time to exploit the doors still open to the past, second chances and untapped income potential, while also on hand to capitalize on the tide when it turns. With so much energy in the air, it might be challenging to see the forest for the trees. On the one hand you thrive on perspective, and on the other you tend to focus on one goal at a time. Use the current celestial energy to build a healthy structure in your life. Take yoga, for example. Go out and get yourself a mat, water bottle, etc. Organize your time so that you can practice a few times a week. Use the perspective and determination you gain to make progress. Today and your love of creativity will be strong. Consider using this essence to its fullest by applying your talents towards more self-expression. This can be a powerful tool for you if verbal communication is something you struggle with. Use pictures and song to say what is in your heart and mind. A sculpture or application of color to your surroundings can say a lot about who you are and what matters most. Let your imagination soar and see what you can say through the use of arts and crafts. Be sure to have some fun. Because the sun will always spend the last 10 days and the first 3 weeks of every year in an adventurous part of your chart, you will find it easier than most to get into the holiday spirit. Last year Venus didn't leave until March and Mars was here during her final 6 weeks, with a sense of wanderlust, curiosity, and adventure extending out into the early months of 2022. This time around Venus is already in her final days, and with life taking a busier turn next week, she is urging you to embrace the holiday spirit. As she heads into both the new year and her last weekend in an adventurous part of your chart, Venus, the planet of love, is going all out to bring the spirit of romance and adventure together. Knowing that life will take a busier turn in the new year, Venus is looking beyond her time here as she urges you to see the kind of resolutions that will keep her mission alive. Our eyes in the sky. The moon continues its journey through temperamental Aries, which can be exhausting for empaths and those with an exceptionally strong nurturing side. While you'll feel drawn to help and take care of others, Be wary of anyone who takes you for granted now, and don't be afraid to say no if you don't feel up to doing something. More than ever, you're conscious of your desires and comfortable with your general outlook on life. You're unlikely to feel frustrated or find anything too confusing. You're very much at ease with yourself and in control of circumstances. Your sensitivity may leave you vulnerable. Your health and home life are areas of importance to focus on. Others greatly appreciate how capable you are even in the most difficult situations. Your modest and unassuming approach is admired and appreciated by everyone who knows you. Maintain your well-being by incorporating some exercise into your daily routine. The open air is particularly beneficial for you now. The moon shares a frustrating square to Mercury retrograde tonight, which could make communication difficult, especially if it pertains to emotions. You might find that people are either cold or very much in their feelings, and it won't always be easy to predict how someone is going to react to you. There could also be technological issues or brain fog, so remember to ground yourself if things start to go haywire in those realms. Things should begin to feel lighter, and perhaps even a bit dreamy, but your psychic senses will get a big boost from the cosmos, so be careful who you surround yourself with. Avoid anyone who drains you emotionally, or you'll likely become energetically depleted. Try to focus your energy on the people who lift you up. Try to go to bed early, because your body will likely need some additional rest. The cosmic weather is exceedingly quiet today, until the Aries moon sextiles Saturn in Aquarius, offering us stability. Confidence in our capabilities finds us making intelligent choices that engender our success in the wider world. The sextile is an auspicious but easygoing influence. We can miss its most optimal effects by refusing to get out of the house. Consider volunteering for community outings. They help you establish or build upon promising relationships. Because we have extra physical stamina under the Aries moon, we're better at showing than telling now. Our knack for strategy and desire for movement can lend to playing games as social icebreakers. If we are unable to be out and about, this transit marks an occasion to connect with family or mentors who have more experience than us in our line of work. Elders have wisdom to share. They will be open to showing us the ropes if we can sit still long enough to take their advice. Later on at night, the moon squares off with Mercury in Capricorn, making us anxious. A disconnect between our hearts and our minds makes communicating with others difficult. And the fact that Mercury is still retrograde doesn't help matters. We're much more in our heads than usual, replaying past conversations and doubting our knowledge base, worried that we've said too much or haven't said enough. We feel moody, as if no one has given our opinions the respect they deserve. Take this opportunity to review what you believe and why. If we are insecure voicing our thoughts, it may be because on a subconscious level, we question our own logic. Instead of making up an imaginary villain to rail against, take this time to separate yourself from the triggering conversation to do some real thinking on it. You may discover that your biases have been inherited from your family, your workplace, or even your media intake. Find your center so you can re-enter these dialogues in the future with a clearer head and more cogent talking points.